The boutique bustled with activity as customers admired luxurious handbags and shimmering jewelry under the store's soft, golden lighting. In the center of the commotion, a heated exchange drew uneasy glances from onlookers. Clara, the store manager, stood rigid with an air of superiority, her lips curled in disdain as she addressed a young woman standing across the counter. "Really, Alicia," Clara said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "You think you could just bring these back? Do you even understand the kind of clientele we serve here? This isn't some secondhand shop." Alicia's hands trembled as she clutched a sleek leather tote, its pristine condition belying the turmoil unfolding. She had spent months saving for this bag, a hopeful investment in her image for an upcoming business pitch that could determine her future. But now, the judgmental sneer of the manager threatened to reduce her hope to ashes. "I'm only here because it's the wrong size for me," Alicia said softly, trying to steady her voice. "Your policy said I could return items within 14 days. Clara smirked, ignoring the murmurs of the surrounding customers. "It's not about the policy, darling. It's about standards." Near the entrance, Alicia's son, Liam, sat cross-legged on a bench, flipping through a colorful book. At 8 years old, he was perceptive enough to sense his mother's discomfort, but young enough to remain hopeful. Alicia glanced at him, drawing strength from his presence. "Standards?" Alicia repeated, her voice louder now. "All I'm asking is to follow your policy. I have the receipt, and the bag hasn't even been used." Clara crossed her arms, raising her chin in mock defiance. "Rules don't always apply the same way to everyone, especially not for people who buy something just to return it after they've paraded it around town." Before Alicia could respond, an older gentleman emerged from a back office. His graying hair and tailored suit gave him an air of quiet authority. This was Samuel Grayson, the boutique's owner, and he had overheard the heated exchange. "Clara," Samuel called out calmly, yet with unmistakable firmness. "A moment, please." Clara spun around, startled. "Mr. Grayson, I was just resolving an issue." Samuel approached the counter, his sharp gaze sweeping between Clara and Alicia. "From what I've observed, you've done more to escalate than resolve." Clara opened her mouth to respond, but Samuel raised a hand. Turning to Alicia, his expression softened. "Ma'am, I sincerely apologize for this unpleasant experience. May I see your receipt?" Alicia handed it to him, her shoulders relaxing slightly. After a brief inspection, Samuel nodded. "This return is well within our policy. Let me process this for you personally." Clara gawked, but before she could protest, Samuel spoke again. "Clara, I'll need to see you in my office after this. Your behavior today is unacceptable." The murmurs in the store grew louder as Samuel completed the return. Alicia offered a grateful smile. "Thank you, Mr. Grayson." "It's Samuel," he replied warmly. "And please know you're always welcome here. If there's anything else you need, don't hesitate to ask." As Alicia gathered her belongings, she caught Clara's glare but held her head high. Liam, sensing the shift, bounded over and grabbed her hand. Together, they left the store, but Alicia's mind was buzzing with everything that had happened. Later that evening, as Samuel sifted through resumes for a vacant administrative role, one application caught his eye. Alicia Romero. Her credentials were impressive, but it was her personal statement that truly stood out, a heartfelt account of her dedication to creating a better future for her son. The next morning, Samuel made the call. "Ms. Romero, this is Samuel Grayson. I'd like to invite you for an interview." Alicia arrived at the boutique 2 days later, this time greeted by Samuel himself. He showed her around, explaining the role and its responsibilities. Clara was notably absent. The interview ended with a handshake, and by the following week, Alicia was part of the team. Clara, meanwhile, was fuming. Though she had been allowed to keep her position, Samuel had reprimanded her in no uncertain terms. Spotting Alicia working at the front desk one afternoon, Clara sneered. "Enjoy this while it lasts. You won't be here long." Alicia met her gaze squarely. "I'll last as long as I need to." Weeks later, Samuel convened a staff meeting. "I'm pleased to announce a new promotion," he began, glancing at Alicia. "Alicia Romero will be stepping into the role of assistant manager." Her professionalism and dedication have already made a significant impact. The room erupted in applause, except for Clara, whose face turned crimson. "This is ridiculous," she muttered. "She's barely been here." Samuel silenced her with a look. "She's proven herself in ways that matter. I suggest you reflect on that." The meeting ended, but Clara wasn't done. Over the next few days, she spread rumors about Alicia, trying to undermine her. But Alicia had kept detailed records of Clara's past behavior, including complaints from other employees. One afternoon, Samuel called another meeting. After an internal review, he announced, "I've come to a decision regarding behavior that conflicts with our values." All eyes turned to Clara as Samuel continued. "Clara, your actions have been detrimental to our team and the environment I strive to create. Effective immediately, your employment is terminated." As security escorted Clara out, Alicia felt a surge of vindication, though she remained composed. Later that day, Samuel approached her. "Alicia, I have another opportunity for you," he said, handing her a letter. "Store manager." Alicia's hands trembled as she opened it. Tears filled her eyes as she read the offer. "Thank you," she whispered. "No," Samuel replied. "Thank you for showing us what true leadership looks like." Walking home with Liam that evening, Alicia felt lighter than she had in years. She had turned adversity into strength, proving to herself and her son that integrity and perseverance could overcome anything. As Alicia walked home with Liam, the evening sky painted in hues of amber and lavender. A profound sense of accomplishment settled over her. She had fought through prejudice and adversity, not with anger or spite, but with dignity and resilience. In her hand was the letter that marked her promotion to store manager, a testament to her hard work and unwavering determination. Liam tugged at her hand, looking up with wide eyes. "Mom, are we going to celebrate?" She chuckled, brushing a strand of hair from his face. "Oh, we're definitely celebrating. Maybe even some pizza tonight." His face lit up, and he skipped ahead, his laughter echoing down the quiet street. Watching him, Alicia felt her heart swell. She had not just earned a promotion. She had earned a chance to provide a better life for her son. The weight of financial insecurity that had loomed over her for years was finally starting to lift. The next day, Alicia stepped into the boutique with her head held high. The atmosphere was different now, lighter and filled with a renewed sense of respect. Colleagues who had once been distant now greeted her warmly, inspired by her perseverance. Samuel's faith in her had sparked a ripple effect, setting a new tone for the store. It was no longer a place of judgment, but a space where every customer and employee could feel valued. As she arranged an eye-catching display of new arrivals, a young woman entered the store, hesitant and unsure. Alicia recognized the look in her eyes. It was the same mix of determination and anxiety she had once carried. Approaching her with a warm smile, Alicia said, "Welcome. Can I help you find something?" The woman nodded, visibly relieved. As Alicia guided her through the options, she thought about the journey that had brought her here. She knew this was just the beginning. Her new role was more than a job. It was a platform to inspire change, to advocate for those who, like her, had faced unfair judgments. And as she watched the young woman leave with a bag and a grateful smile, Alicia realized she had already begun to make that change. She was no longer just surviving. She was thriving, paving the way for others to do the same. As Alicia closed the store that evening, she paused to look at her reflection in the front window, the boutique's glowing sign casting a soft light. She saw a woman transformed, stronger, wiser, and determined to make a difference. Smiling, she whispered to herself, "This is just the start," and walked into the night with purpose, her son by her side, and a world of new possibilities ahead.